This Google Pomelli update is insane. Today I'm going to show you how to turn your Pomelli content into animations. This is brand new. It dropped literally days ago, and it's going to change how you make animated videos. Google just added animation directly into Pomelli. Watch this. Let's dive in. All right, so Google just dropped something absolutely insane with Pomelli, and I'm talking game-changing. This is one of those updates that makes you stop and pay attention. They just added animation, real animation, not just static images anymore. You can now take your Pomelli content and turn it into actual moving animations. This is huge. This changes everything about how you create animated content. Let me explain what's happening here. Pomelli just launched a new feature called Animate, simple name, powerful tool, and it's built right into Pomelli. You don't need any other software. You don't need any animation experience. You just use Pomelli like you normally would. But now you can make your content move, and we're talking smooth, professional, on-brand animations. Here's the big deal. Up until now, Pomelli was for creating images, beautiful images, detailed images, but they were static. They didn't move. If you wanted animation, you had to export your images, then import them into another tool, maybe Adobe After Effects, maybe another animation software. Then you had to figure out how to animate them yourself. That whole process took hours, sometimes days, and it required technical skills most people don't have. Not anymore. The new Animate feature does it all inside Pomelli. You create your content, you hit Animate, and Pomelli turns it into motion. No exporting, no importing, no switching between different programs. Everything happens in one place. This is what makes this update so powerful. It takes the friction out of the process. It removes the technical barriers. Anyone can now create animations. Think about what this means for content creation. You can now make animated explainer videos. You can create animated social media posts. You can build animated presentations. You can design animated stories, and you can do all of this without leaving Pomelli, without hiring animators, without spending weeks learning animation software. The Animate feature handles it for you. Let me break down how this actually works. You start by creating your content in Pomelli. Same process you've always done. You design your scenes, you create your visuals, you build your story elements. Once you have your content ready, you access the Animate feature. It's right there in Pomelli's interface. You select what you want to animate, you choose your animation settings, then you let Pomelli work its magic. The AI processes your content, it analyzes your designs, it figures out how to bring them to life, and it creates smooth, natural-looking animation. Now, here's what makes this different from other animation tools. Most animation software requires manual work. You have to set keyframes, you have to adjust timing, you have to tweak motion paths. It's technical, it's time-consuming, it's complicated. Pomelli's Animate feature simplifies all of that. The AI understands motion, it understands how things should move, it applies that knowledge to your content automatically. You get professional-looking animation without the professional-level complexity. And this isn't basic animation we're talking about. This isn't just sliding images across the screen. This is actual movement, characters moving naturally, objects interacting realistically, scenes transitioning smoothly, the kind of animation you see in professional videos, the kind that usually costs thousands to produce. Now you can create it yourself in Pomelli. Let's talk about what you can actually animate. Pretty much anything you create in Pomelli can now move. Characters can walk, jump, gesture, objects can rotate, bounce, fly, backgrounds can shift, zoom, pan, text can appear, transform, emphasize. The Animate feature works with all types of Pomelli content. Whatever you've created, you can bring it to life. Here's the workflow. You design your content first. Get it looking exactly how you want. Once you're happy with the static version, that's when you add animation. This approach gives you control. You're not trying to design and animate at the same time. You perfect the look first, then you perfect the motion. It's a cleaner process, it's easier to manage, and it produces better results. The Animate feature also keeps your content on brand. This is important. When you create content in Pomelli, you're building a specific look, a specific style, a specific feel. The animation respects that. It doesn't change your aesthetic. It doesn't alter your design. It just adds movement. Your animated content looks like your static content, just moving. That consistency matters, especially if you're creating content for a brand or business. Now let me talk about speed. Traditional animation takes forever. You draw frames, you adjust timing, you render, you review, you make changes, you render again. It's a cycle that can take days or weeks. Pomelli's Animate feature is fast, really fast. You can go from static content to animated content in minutes, not hours, not days, minutes. That speed opens up new possibilities. You can experiment more. You can try different approaches. You can create more content in less time. And here's something most people don't realize yet. This update changes what's possible with Pomelli. Before, Pomelli was a tool for creating visual content, images for posts, graphics for presentations, designs for projects. Now it's a complete animation platform. You can create entire animated videos, full animated stories, complex animated sequences, all in one tool. That's a massive expansion of what Pomelli can do. Let's talk about use cases. If you're creating content for social media, animated posts get more engagement, they catch attention, they hold attention, they perform better than static images. With the Animate feature, you can now create those animated posts directly in Pomelli, no extra tools needed. If you're building presentations, animation makes them more dynamic, more engaging, more memorable. You can animate your slides right in Pomelli. If you're telling stories, animation brings them to life, makes them more immersive, more impactful. The Animate feature gives you that power. Here's what I'm most excited about. This update democratizes animation. Animation has always been exclusive. You needed expensive software, you needed special skills, you needed lots of time. Most people couldn't do it, most people couldn't afford it. Pomelli changes that equation. Now anyone with access to Pomelli can create animations, students can animate their projects, small businesses can animate their marketing, creators can animate their stories. The barrier to entry just disappeared. One thing that's really impressive is how intuitive it is. Google designed this to be simple. You don't need to understand animation principles. You don't need to know about frame rates or motion blur or easing curves. The AI handles all the technical stuff. You just focus on what you want to animate. The tool figures out how to do it. That's good design. That's user-friendly. That's what makes this accessible to everyone. The on-brand part is crucial too. When you animate content, you want it to match your style, your aesthetic, your vibe. Some animation tools force you into their style, their look, their approach. Pomelli doesn't do that. The Animate feature adapts to your content. If your Pomelli creations are colorful and playful, the animation will be colorful and playful. If they're sleek and professional, the animation will be sleek and professional. The tool matches your brand automatically. Here's another advantage. Since animation happens inside Pomelli, you can iterate quickly. See an animation you don't like? Change it. Want to try a different approach? Do it. Need to adjust timing? Easy. Everything is editable, everything is flexible. You're not locked into your first attempt. You can experiment, you can refine, you can perfect your animations without starting over from scratch. Let's talk about quality. AI animation has had quality issues in the past. Jerky movement, unnatural motion, weird artifacts. Pomelli's Animate feature produces smooth, natural animation. The kind that looks professional. The kind that you'd be proud to share. Google has clearly put work into making this look good, and it shows. The output quality is impressive. Think about the content you could create now. Animated tutorials that show processes step by step, animated infographics that make data come alive, animated stories that captivate audiences, animated ads that grab attention, animated explainers that simplify complex topics. All of this is now possible in Pomelli. All of it is now easy to create. The timing of this update is interesting too. Video content is dominating right now. Social media algorithms favor video. Audiences prefer video. Businesses need video, but creating video is hard. Creating good video is even harder. Pomelli's Animate feature makes it easier, not just easier, possible. For people who couldn't create animated video before, now they can. That's a big shift. Here's what this means for the future. If Pomelli can add animation this seamlessly, what else can they add? What other features are coming? This update shows Google is serious about making Pomelli a complete content creation platform, not just an image generator